You so much for joining me here today. I appreciate you taking some time. I want to kick this off by saying we thought you had some great qualifications for this role based on your resume, which I have pulled up in front of me. And I think is a good place for us to get started. So, Mandy, why don't you kick this off by walking me through your past working experiences, starting with the job you had most recently, and then walking your way backwards for me.
Force, okay. I was the front end specialist. I worked there 2 years. I ran the office a year by myself after they let go of the office administrator that I was trained under. I
Okay.
worked,
And talking about the company too, just so I have an idea of the scope of work you were doing also.
they're an auto repair shop. Excuse me. They're an auto repair shop in Madisonville. I was the main point of contact for insurance customers, delegate where the calls needed to go to if I needed the shop foreman to direct the insurance company of the process of where we were at with people's vehicles. I was the one who dealt with the emails. The kids were involved because the owner is an elderly man. So they took over most of it. So I was the center between the company and them. His daughter Sherry, who did payroll and um, QuickBooks for all the billing. So I made sure she had everything she needed, or if she needed something, I was her point of contact.
Okay.
I scheduled every vehicle in that was due in for repairs. And I did foresee anything the office needed to do.
Okay. Was it only you working at the front desk, or you mentioned you had someone else there?
For the first year I was trained, yes, underneath um, the office manager. And
Okay.
then a year by myself. So
Gotcha.
everything, everything. So high stress, um, high quantity. I don't know how to say that properly. Fast paced environment does not scare me. I came from medical at Forest Hill, so that was just as fast paced, and Eastgate pretty much the same, but only difference in Forest Hills, I was the medical records liaison appointment coordinator. We were a rehab facility, long term facility. I was the coordinator for the rehab to ensure that everybody who came in, they had doctor's appointments, that
Mhm.
they got there safely. I dealt with their medical records to put it in the system so the nurses knew what was expected and needed. I was the point of contact for outside doctors, the doctor in-house, and the nurses. So I've pretty much always been the middleman at both jobs of my position of.
Okay, awesome. So at Forest Hill Care Center, you were there for roughly around 11 years. Were you always the same position as the medical records appointment coordinator, or did you do anything else?
Oh, the medical records came, I think I did that 7 out of the 11.
Okay.
But I still maintained and did my aid work when help was needed so the girls weren't stressed, especially when COVID hit. So I made sure I was available for them as well.
What made you change positions from the medical field into what you're doing right now, working in the auto body shop?
I loved the medical field, don't get me wrong. I loved both jobs, but it was never my passion. I've always liked business. If you've seen, I went to Brown Mackey and got my applied in business management.
Yep.
And then when the opportunity arose to work at Oars, because I took it, because I always liked business and I thought, okay, this can give me some opportunity to move forward into the business world, out of the medical field. And honestly, when COVID hit, my body was just stressed and I was stressed. So it was time for me to start looking at the opportunities of what I went to college for and what I actually truly passionate about and love.
I hear you. Awesome. All right. So why are you looking for a new position right now, Mandy?
For opportunities. Unfortunate circumstances has had me look elsewhere for more.
Okay. Gotcha. What can you be a little bit more specific of of what exactly you're looking for. So are you just looking for a change? Is there anything that motivated you? I just want to kind of get a little bit more insight.
I do like the change, but I also liked the ideal fact of opening up a door into the realty world, as I said though. But I mean, I've also looked at jobs where I still am with the auto body and kind of the medical fields, but it was in the office
Okay.
of all of it.
So can I ask why you're looking for a new job?
I'm actually unemployed. Did I not send the updated resume to you? Oh.
Yeah, yeah, which is okay. So they gotcha. So I take it they let you go over at the auto body shop.
Well, no, I left them to pursue more. As I said, it was unfortunate circumstances. Um, Me and the owner, we parted on great terms. He understood the circumstances, and I said, I need to focus on me. And he's also older, and the kids have no interest in it, in the shop.
Okay.
And as I said, he's 84. I don't know how long the shop's going to open up. So to me, I'd rather start looking for something where I can grow my roots, love, grow, retire, and be loyal. Because if you notice, I am a loyal employee. If you look at my resume, I don't job hop
Nope.
until I see a foreseen circumstance that I have to take care of me and my family.
Sure. So what has you interested in real estate, Mandy? Why apply to this position specifically?
It was more the receptionist. The real estate, I will not lie, kind of scares me. But as I said, I'm not scared to learn. I love learning. And it was kind of a different approach. So it's okay. I get to meet, because I do, I'm a customer service based person. That's what I did love about both jobs. I did get to meet people. I did get to, as a, in the nursing home, I got to see people rehab, go home. The body shop, my vendors and me had a great relationship, had a
Yeah.
great relationship with our customers. There's a lot of repeat customers. Um, but I am a service person, and I love the fact that you can help somebody find a dream that they've been wanting. And I
Okay.
think what kind of made me like, this is different. It is still business, but it's also helping in a way.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, awesome. So with that in mind, Mandy, I want to ask, what are you seeking regarding salary for your next role? Want to always make sure we're in the same ballpark. What are you looking for compensation wise, and do you have any flexibility?
I was looking a base of a 19. I mean, I am close to Mount Orb. I live in Williamsburg, so the drive is not a factor for me. Uh, Maybe 10, 15 minutes. But I'm just so used to making that base of 19 at least.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so sounds good. Moving forward, are you able to work in person every day?
Oh, yes. I prefer it.
Great. All right, awesome. So let's dive into more questions that'll learn more about you. So tell me about a specific time in the past where you felt like you just went above and beyond in a work setting and really just felt like you went the extra mile in a professional manner.
Forest Hills. Before I got my medical records position, the girl that was there was leaving to move to another state with her husband and kids. There was two other positions down there that I worked well with and worked with those girls, but they just up and quit. So I had to not only learn my job, but their job as well, so I could make sure the staff, the girls, the residents, all had what they needed. The one was medical supplies, the other was more the medical records position, because I was only going to be the appointment coordinator. So that's how I became the medical records and appointment coordinator, because we just never hired anybody because I held the role for both
Okay.
my own. But I had to learn and make sure and ensure. So I had three jobs all rolled in one within the first 2 months of that position going down there.
And how did you manage that?
breathing every day. And I made sure that I knew what was important, what needed to be done, and how to prioritize. Like, and then if I did need help, the girls, my administrator, or my supervisor would be like, "Okay, Manny, we can help you." Because I, if I drowned, I didn't need it. Because there was times you have a slow period, and there's times that everybody has to come to rehab. So it
Mhm.
was like, okay, guys, I need somebody to help me with at least the medical supply so I can make sure these people get their doctor appointment so we can move forward because you have to so much rehab to get paid for their stay. So I had to make sure that that was taken care of before I put supplies on a nurse's card. So I just prioritized.
Got it. All right, awesome. So let's keep moving forward. And now I want to ask you, what's your least favorite part of any work day? What is something that you will always get done, won't mind doing, but you just know it's not your cup of tea?
I don't know. I've never really thought about that, honestly. Because I've
Okay.
always just what I have to do is what I have to do, and I take everything in stride. I don't fret on the stuff that I didn't have to or
Try
have
to
to.
think of something for me.
Hmm. Mm-hmm. I think.
All right. Well, if you can't think of anything, we'll keep moving forward then.
Yeah, well, I'll think about it. Because honestly, I just never had issues.
All right. So submitting listing documents and transaction data will be a major part of this role. What strategies do you use to double check your work? And how do you really just make sure you're maintaining accuracy in everything you're doing?
I first write everything down, or I write it down and then I match. If it's on the computer, I make sure I write down what I need to on a notebook, notepad, on a spreadsheet, so I can look at it, match it, check it off as I go, and then I triple check. I make sure everything is dotted, crossed, and if I do make a mistake, I correct it, and then I apologize and I learn from it. I learn from anything because, as I said, I will always be ample to learning anything new or anything that could have been done better
Okay.
or differently.
All right. So if I'm sitting down with one of your past bosses or managers, what would they say one of your biggest strengths would be? And then what would they say an area of improvement could be, Mandy?
My strength is always showing up on time and being a helping hand. My improvement, I always had to be reminded to do my certifications because I always just got so busy that they
What
always.
what type of certifications?
Um, when I was an aide, I had to have my STNA license.
Okay. All right.
So it was just getting on the computer. That's probably the worst part of my job that I was sitting at a computer for 2 hours and reading and reading and reading for stuff that I knew. So there we go. There's my answer to that. Because I
Okay.
know it's just it was
So,
repetitive.
so this job will have you sitting at a computer all day, doing transaction coordination and speaking with different people over the phone, but more so looking at the transactions on a computer. Is that going to be something that'll be difficult for you? What are your thoughts there?
Oh, that's sorry if that's how you think I took it. No, that wouldn't bother me because that is part of the job. It was having to sit like you were in school again and relearning what you already knew for the certifications. I wish I could have just skipped to the test, taken them because I knew the answers to everything because it was the same repetitive test every 6 months. Sorry, no, but if it's part of my job, the computer does not bother me. Repetitive doesn't bother me. I kind of I don't have to have it, but I kind of like knowing that it's repetitive. And so that way I know when I come in, I know what I have to start doing. I know what needs to be done. And that to me allows for if some situation pops up that you can handle it without stressing.
Yep. Okay.
Because stuff happens every day. As I said, I came from the medical field aides. So you never knew what that day would have brought. Auto body, we could have toe ins. I could have an irate customer. insurance company who would stop by for something. So what I knew, what I had to walk into each job allowed me to just stop, focus 100% on the situation at hand right now. And then when that was completed, I could go right back to where I knew where I was and what had to be done for the day.
Okay. Gotcha. Moving forward, I just want to make sure we're staying on track here. What was the time you received constructive criticism from a boss or a manager? What was a specific moment?
Mm, mm. Probably in my earliest days at Eastgate Springs, um, because I did train girls there as an aide. Um, and sometimes I'd be a little too honest with him because to me, I took my aide work being seriously because I am that believer that that could be your family, that could be my family, that could be Joe Schmo's family at one point in time, that you need to treat them up most respectful. And some girls you could tell right away were not in it for certain reasons, but for a paycheck and they were young. So
Yep.
I'd kind of be like, how about you just not rethink this? So I did get pulled in. Like, you can't tell somebody to rethink what they're doing. So I'm like, yes, I understand. I
Okay.
understood. So, yes.
Gotcha. All right. So now I want to ask, how do you keep yourself organized? What are some tools and strategies you like to use when managing multiple projects so things don't slip through the cracks?
Oh, I'm color filed. I got certain notebooks, certain folders, binders, whatever I can do with different colors, so I know exactly which one is what, and they're all labeled. Um, as I said, I keep my list, check things off. Um, I'm that person. I know where I put something at and why it's there. That way I can go directly to it, or if somebody asks for it, I can say it's this right next to that. That way, where nobody's searching.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So with that in mind, I want to ask, where would you like to see yourself the next 3 to 5 years time? What does the most ideal future look like for you professionally in the future, Mandy?
Mm. Settled into a company, and if opportunity arises to grow into something, to look for an opening. Man, if it's a company where I can grow, I would love to grow. I would love to expand myself, to see myself be something other than just a receptionist, even though they are just as important. But to give myself my full potential
Yep.
is where I'd like to see myself at, to be a part of something.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, Mandy. Great job. Cameras are, or I'm gonna turn this camera off and because we've reached the end of this interview.